Listen to me very carefully. Not tomorrow, not later. Not when you feel ready, right now. Before you close your eyes tonight. Before your phone slips from your hand. Before your mind drifts into another restless night. This message found you for a reason. Pause 1 second. Most people will scroll past this. Most people will say, "I'll pray in the morning." Most people believe time is unlimited. But that belief is exactly what keeps them stuck. Here's the warning. Most people don't want to hear. What God is doing for you tonight will not wait forever. Opportunities don't always arrive loudly. Sometimes they arrive quietly, disguised as a moment like this. Most people make a dangerous mistake. They mistake silence for delay. They mistake stillness for absence. They think nothing is happening because nothing is visible. But heaven does not announce its movements. Heaven works quietly, strategically, precisely. While you're scrolling, while you're overthinking, while you're telling yourself, tomorrow, something is already shifting behind the scenes. And if you sleep tonight without aligning yourself, without acknowledging this moment, without opening your heart, you may wake up feeling heavier. Not because something bad happened, but because something passed. You'll feel more confused, more distracted, farther from peace without knowing why. And that's the consequence no one warns you about. Missed alignment doesn't scream, it whispers. This moment is not random. This hour is not accidental. You didn't find this message, it found you. And that alone should make you pause. There is time pressure on this prayer, not because God rushes, but because windows close. Once tonight passes, the opportunity shifts timelines. The same prayer tomorrow won't carry the same weight. The same openness tomorrow won't feel as clear. And tomorrow you may wake up wondering, why do I feel off? Why do I feel unsettled? Why does something feel unfinished? You won't be able to explain it, but your spirit will know, because alignment delayed often feels like peace denied. But here's the curiosity you need to hear. What if God already scheduled something for you overnight? A conversation, a breakthrough, a release, a protection, an answer. And this prayer is the access point. What if tonight is not about asking for more, but about being ready for what's already prepared? Very few people pause long enough to hear this. Very few people are still watching right now. And that tells me something important about you. Stay with me. Most people think prayer is about asking. Asking for money, asking for answers, asking for signs, asking for relief. They approach prayer like a wish list, hoping if they say the right words, something will finally change. But here's the twist. Prayer is not about asking. Prayer is about positioning. Pause 2 seconds. You don't pray to convince God to move. You pray to place yourself where God is already moving. God doesn't need reminders. God doesn't need persuasion. God doesn't need volume. He needs alignment. Here's the new revelation most people miss. While you sleep, God works in dimensions you cannot reach while awake. There are battles you can't fight consciously. There are doors you can't force open. There are protections you'll never see. So God waits until you rest. While your body sleeps, your spirit remains open. While your mind quiets, heaven gets louder. God rearranges conversations you're not present for. He softens hearts that resisted you for years. He delays things that would have hurt you if they arrived too soon. He blocks dangers you never prayed about because you never saw them coming. And He prepares blessings you're not emotionally ready to receive yet. But here's the condition. This only happens for those who enter rest correctly. Rest is not just closing your eyes. Rest is releasing control. Unexpected shift. Tonight is not about begging God to fix things. Tonight is about surrendering the wheel, because control is exhausting, and exhaustion blocks clarity. God doesn't work best when you're panicking. He works best when you finally let go. Emotion check. Be honest with yourself. If your chest feels tight right now, if your thoughts keep racing, if your heart feels heavy for no clear reason, that's not weakness, that's awareness. It means your spirit knows something is shifting. It means you're standing at the edge of relief. Most people never feel this because they stay numb. You're feeling this because you're close. Close to peace, close to clarity, close to release. You are not random. Out of thousands of videos, thousands of voices, thousands of distractions, you're still here. Few people reach this moment. Few people stayed long enough to hear truth without noise. And that alone tells you something important. You are positioned, not finished, not forgotten, not delayed, positioned. And when positioning meets rest, God handles the rest. Stay with me. Now pray this slowly, not rushed, not distracted, not half-hearted. Let every word land. Father God, before I sleep tonight, I release what I can't fix. I've tried thinking my way out of this. I've tried planning my way through this. I've tried holding everything together when my strength was already low. Tonight, I stop pretending I'm in control. If you say move, I will move. If you say wait, I will wait. If you say rest, I will rest without fear. Because obedience is not about speed, it's about trust. Here is the condition of my heart tonight. I let go of outcomes that were never mine to manage. I release timelines I created out of anxiety. I surrender expectations that quietly turned into pressure. I admit this honestly. God, control has made me tired. Unexpected shift. Tonight, I choose peace over panic, trust over timing, faith over fear. Not because everything makes sense, but because you do. Emotion deepens here. God, if you're working overnight, I refuse to interfere with worry. I won't replay conversations that already happened. I won't imagine outcomes that haven't arrived. I won't rehearse fear like it's preparing me for tomorrow. Because worry has never protected me. It only drained me. So tonight, I release it. I release the heaviness in my chest. I release the tightness in my thoughts. I release the quiet fear I didn't know how to explain. God, I trust you even when I don't understand the process. I trust you even when answers are slow. I trust you even when silence feels uncomfortable. Because silence does not mean absence. It means preparation. Father, while I sleep, guard my mind from overthinking. Guard my heart from doubt. Guard my spirit from unnecessary fear. Let rest become holy tonight. If there are doors that need closing, close them gently. If there are conversations that need softening, soften them quietly. If there are delays protecting me, help me accept them peacefully. And if there are blessings preparing to arrive, prepare me to receive them well. God, I don't need everything at once. I just need enough strength for tomorrow. I don't need every answer tonight. I just need your presence. Reminder, let this settle. What's meant for me won't miss me. No amount of delay can cancel it. No person can steal it. No mistake can erase it. And what's not meant for me can't stay. Even if I tried to hold on to it. Even if I feared letting it go. Even if it felt familiar. Because you remove things not to punish, but to protect. Tonight, I trust your removal as much as I trust your provision. I hand you this night. I hand you my thoughts. I hand you my plans. I hand you my unfinished worries. I release the need to figure everything out. I release the pressure to be strong all the time. I release the lie that rest means weakness, because rest is trust. And tonight, I trust you. Now listen closely, not with your ears, but with your spirit. Tomorrow morning, something will feel different. It may not arrive as a miracle. It may not come with an announcement. It may not even make sense right away. But you'll feel it. A subtle lightness, a quiet steadiness, a sense that something shifted while you weren't watching. It won't be loud. It won't be obvious. But clarity will feel closer. The noise in your mind won't fight as hard. The heaviness in your chest won't press as deep. And strength will feel different. Not rushed, not forced, but steady. Quieter, yet stronger. That's how real change often begins. Final reminder: don't miss this. God does His best work when you finally rest. Not when you overthink. Not when you rehearse fear. Not when you try to control outcomes, but when you release. When you sleep in trust instead of anxiety. When you stop watching the clock and start believing the promise. You are not random. Out of countless moments, countless voices, countless distractions, you stayed. Few people reached this point. Few people slowed down enough to finish what they started. And that means something was activated the moment you chose to remain present. Not because you're perfect, not because you have everything figured out, but because you were willing to listen, willing to pause, willing to trust, and heaven responds to willingness. Now here is the unanswered question that only you can answer. Will you trust what God is doing tonight, even if you don't see it yet? Will you rest without proof? Will you sleep without anxiety? Will you release the need to understand every step of the process? Because faith doesn't require visibility. It requires surrender. Tonight is not about answers. It's about alignment. Tomorrow will handle itself. So sleep in peace. Not because everything is solved, but because everything is held. He's already working. Before you sleep tonight, this prayer invites you to pause, release, and realign. It reminds you that this moment is not random and that timing matters more than most people realize. While many delay prayer, assuming there is always more time, this message warns that some shifts happen quietly and only once. Silence does not mean nothing is happening. Heaven often works when you cannot see it. The prayer breaks a common misconception. Prayer is not about begging God, but about positioning yourself to receive what is already being prepared. While you rest, God works beyond what you can control, rearranging conversations, softening hearts, blocking unseen harm, and preparing blessings you may not yet be ready to carry. As the prayer deepens, you are guided to release fear, overthinking, and the pressure to manage outcomes that were never yours. You choose peace over panic, trust over timing, and faith over fear. Rest becomes an act of trust, not weakness. The message closes with a quiet promise. Tomorrow may not arrive loudly, but something will feel different. Clarity will be closer, peace lighter, and strength steadier. The final question remains, will you trust what God is doing tonight, even if you cannot see it yet?